Hello and thanks for watching Focus, a show that focuses on community, unity, and service, featuring nonprofits and community heroes. I'm Chris Giard. MARC Inc. of Manchester provides opportunities for the people they serve with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Since 1952, they've helped their people served lead meaningful lives of independence, choice, inclusion, and continuous personal growth. My guest is Kevin Zingler, the president and CEO of MARC Inc. Kevin, welcome to
Thank,
the show.
thanks for having me. I'm glad to be on your show here.
So, for the people that are just seeing this and hearing about your organization for the first time, why don't you give a little bit of background and history, please?
Sure. So in 1952, as you mentioned, a group of parents met in the basement of a church here in Manchester. And this was happening throughout the country. There was no medical diagnosis for people with intellectual disabilities back then. And parents were gathering in basements of churches and living rooms across the country to figure out how could they provide a better life and support each other as they had individuals and children with disabilities. So they banded together here in Manchester and they formed the Manchester Association for the Help of Children. And basically they met and they formed a nonprofit organization that's now known as MARC Inc. of Manchester. And over the years, they fought for the rights of their individuals, their loved ones to go to school. There was no special education back then. There was no services back then. There was no DDS in the state of Connecticut back then. They were on their own, and they, with the help of the business community and community members, got integrated into special education and the Board of Education, and local car dealership donated a vehicle so they could transport individuals, their children, to school. And that was really the grassroots start of MARC Inc. of Manchester, and that's not. It's happened across the country. We're not unique in that process. This happened throughout the country with many ARCs of organizations. There is the ARC as a national organization that was formed back in the early 50s, and we go strong. We're part of a chapter unit, independent, but a chapter unit, and we all share resources and band together to help keep pushing that bar forward for people with intellectual disabilities. So as individuals and families got the access to schools, districts, and schools, they then said, we want to work just like anyone else. And so the organization started finding work opportunities for folks. Of course, first it was in contract work type of workshops, if you will. The public wasn't ready for our folks to be integrated in the community back then. So we started getting in work from Pratt and Whitney and other big employers in the area who wanted to provide opportunities for our folks. And as our folks get older, they wanted to retire. So we started expanding our services through the natural life cycle of someone's life. And residential services was actually born through that process too. We've done great with employment, getting people integrated in the community, working in the community. Now they want to live in the community. So our organization changed and adapted over the years to meet the needs of the individuals and the families we support. Currently, from the basement of a church, we now support over 300 people every single day to live according to their choices in the community. And it's just a rewarding experience for all of us here at MARC, including the families and individuals we support. So a whole wide range of services we provide. One of the things I think a lot of people don't know about us is, yes, our title is MARC Inc. of Manchester, but we actually serve 25 towns east of the river. We're one of the largest nonprofits that provide supports with DDS as our state partner in providing those supports. So we go all the way from Stafford Springs all the way down to Rocky Hill and Southington and other locations throughout the state. A lot of folks don't know that. They just see that Manchester in our name, and we're a regional nonprofit that supports a lot of people.
In fact, that is something I knew, but you've been such a staple of the Manchester community. It's good to know. I didn't know you had that wide of a spread of 25 towns, and knowing that this show reaches 19 probably of those 25 towns, I'm glad people that are just hearing about your organization can learn and maybe benefit from services.
Yep.
You mentioned about some of the employment, and October is the National Disability Employment Month. Let's talk about some of the employment services you do offer, the people you serve.
Sure. So we provide a whole wide range of services based on an individual's need. So if an individual can work independently in the community, maybe we just need to provide supports on a couple hours a week basis just to check in, make sure the employer is happy with their performance, they're happy with their performance, and sort of be that social worker out in the community to make sure that things are working like clockwork. So we do that for several of our individuals, a lot of our individuals actually in the community. They take the bus, they take public transportation to get to work, or they have natural supports, family, friends that bring them to their job sites or work, just like you and I showing up to our work every day. So we have that level of support. We also have folks in our group supported employment. So individuals who maybe aren't independent on the working independently in the community, but need group support. So we send out a job coach with them. A direct support professional is actually the correct title, to get people, the supports they need while they're in a group supported employment opportunity. So once again, acting as a case worker, social worker, if you will, helping mediate issues or helping them with skill building, et cetera, to make sure that they're successful in their job every single day. So we have a whole host of folks that do that here from a staff level and also people served. And then we also have opportunities where some folks maybe aren't able to work a full day, if you will. Maybe they can only do 1 day a week or 2 days a week based on stamina, fatigue, or maybe their mental or health conditions prevent them from doing that, So we have those supports in place where people can provide those work opportunities on a limited basis. We have some employers that are fine with that, maybe our crew only comes there twice a week or 3 times a week. And that's all the job requires. And it's a win for them and a win for us. Our goal is to get people working out in the community at minimum wage. Making sure that they have an opportunity just like anyone else in the community. And right now, as you know, there's a lot of help wanted signs. So, if anyone's watching this video, please contact us, because we have a great selection of individuals. They're hardworking. They show up on time. They don't quit. They do their best every day. And not only that, they provide our individuals who work with employers. A lot of the employers tell us that, this is the best decision we ever made as an employer, because the culture of the organization has just changed dramatically. There are opportunities where people are just happy that our individuals are there. Morale goes through the roof. Productivity goes through the roof. It's a win-win all the way across the board for not only our people served to provide an opportunity and be part of a team, but also for the employees that work there, they become part of teammates with our folks. It's just a great opportunity.
And I would say there's a lot of opportunity for partnership, and I know we've been a long time partnership in having Mark Matters be one of our long time running programs on the channel, and seeing host Tom McCann shine every time. I know there's I encourage any group out there that's willing to work with Kevin and Mark to definitely, because it's an experience that's invaluable, and you'll get out of it much as their individuals will too.
Yep.
Kevin, I just read about the Vending for Change program. Is that something you can talk about too?
Yeah, definitely. So, as we're always looking for social enterprises for our folks, and Vending for Change is actually one of the first vending operations in the state of Connecticut that's owned and operated by people with intellectual disabilities. So we have a whole host of sites and companies and businesses. We have vending machines throughout the greater Manchester area that our folks go and service the machines, stock the machines, maintain the machines. And all the revenue goes to pay people in those jobs. And it provides a great opportunity for community integration. And our folks are so excited to own their own business. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, is they own the company. And they tell us that every day. And it's a wonderful thing to see people have that pride and sense of, belonging in their community. So we do snack machines, we do soda machines, we do coffee machines. We do them large scale. One of our largest scale operations is at the Buckland Hills Mall. Mm-hmm. We have snack machines throughout the whole mall. We have several machines up there. We also do the mom and pop stores. So no matter how big you are, we can probably accommodate you in our Vending for Change services. And if you want any additional information, obviously it's available on our website, and we'll talk more about how you can contact with us. But we're happy to assist anyone who's looking for that opportunity. And I sort of view it as you can have this as a service to your employees or to wherever this machine will be located. And it's great that you can have a big vendor come in and do that, a Coca-Cola or some other organization. But you know what? The profits and don't go back into your local community. So this is getting reinvested back into our community. So not only are you making a difference, and getting a snack, but you're also providing an opportunity for people with intellectual disabilities in your local community to have that opportunity. So yeah, we're always looking to expand. So you reach out. Kelly Ray is our staff member who does that, and she does a phenomenal job. And we're looking for those opportunities. So once again, if you're listening to this video and you want an opportunity, you have an opportunity for us, give us a call, and we'll see if we can make it work.
Speaking of making a difference, I know MARC Inc. does great work at the state and local level with advocacy, and I know there's a huge need to give a voice to your individuals. Let's talk a little bit about the advocacy work that you've done in the past and what you foresee happening in the future.
Sure. So obviously advocacy has changed over the last 2 years with COVID. I mean, previous to this, we were up at the Capitol every other month advocating for people with intellectual disabilities, for service providers, for DDS. To make sure that funding and opportunities were made available to the individuals we support and their families. So, we were up there and meeting with our legislators, meeting with the governor, meeting with people. We are part of the ARC Connecticut, and they have an advocacy group, a statewide group. So we're part of that too as well. So banding together across the state. But really, the advocacy comes down to is our folks. I mean, our folks are the best persons who can provide that message and get that message out. They don't want to hear from me as the president and CEO. They want to know what is the difference that our legislative policy makes on you as an individual living in our state. How does that affect?
Ambassador? Is that the ambassador?
That's program? Our ambassador. Yeah, that's exactly. That's why we have our ambassador program. So our ambassadors are the ones who really pick up that torch and go and testify before the legislature, go to meet with the local mayors and town halls here. Really get involved in their community, because how those policymakers are making those decisions are important to them, and those are the ways that are being affected. The buck really stops here locally, at a state and local level and a federal level. We saw through the pandemic, the federal assistance was just astronomical in terms of helping us as a nonprofit survive. In terms of the funding that's coming down and continues to come down because of COVID. So that's been an opportunity to help us reshape how we're providing services, think about our future. We're in the process of a strategic plan right now with our board of directors about what does our next 5 years look like. And I can tell you that if we started the plan before COVID, it's totally different now, because the world has changed so much. So we're actually at a really good point where, as we're emerging in the recovery phase of this pandemic, that we now have a greater picture and sense of where we need to go as an organization, and technology is going to play a big part of it, in terms of how we're providing supports and how we're stretching every single dollar that we get. We fundraise a lot, but every single dollar matters to our folks in terms of the quality of supports that we provide. So it's a very important process to make sure that all these different technologies are being incorporated in the future.
So when you talk about technology, I know the last time we spoke, it was just still in the height of COVID. And I know there's so many great activities and services you offer your individuals over there at MARC, and specifically coming out of and during COVID, trying to keep them engaged, you had to embrace the technology. So what are some of those virtual experiences and activities you provide that you started up at the beginning of COVID and have continued since?
Sure. So virtual services has evolved as well. Obviously it became a necessity when COVID first hit. It was our only really direct link to each other. Teams and Zoom was it. I mean, and still to some degree is still some of the bigger players in the game. But we're looking at technology in terms of how do we provide additional supports in terms of remote monitoring and remote services to ensure the health and safety of our people. So for example, if Kevin always comes home at 4:00 every day, and he comes in this house and he always goes to the kitchen and he grabs a snack, or he goes and uses the restroom, and that's his routine. We all have our routines. Sure. There is technology through artificial intelligence right now that is enabling people to basically know what a certain person's routine is. So every day at 4:00, I expect the front door to open. I expect Kevin to walk into the front lobby area of his house or the hallway of his house. I expect him to maybe put his keys down, and maybe there's a sensor in his keys that say, hey, his keys have been put down on this table, or they're in the house. He then goes into another room and there's either a camera or there is a motion detector that says, "Yep, there's a person," they actually have cameras now where it can sort of identify a body anonymously, based on this is Kevin's profile usually.
Sure.
So that provides us with, hey, we know Kevin got home, we know he's safe, he took public transportation. We may not need a staff to go over and check on him right away. Maybe we can check on him in a couple hours, or give him a phone call or a FaceTime call or a Zoom call or a Teams call and see how he's doing and see what supports he may need through the day. So those are the technologies that we're really looking at in terms of, and virtual services open our world to that of initially just saying, this is a way of communicating, but now it's a way of living. And how do we provide those opportunities to folks to become more independent? So these technologies provide independence opportunities for folks. Privacy, so we don't need a staff there when Kevin arrives at home at 4:00 because we know now that he's been home and he's doing these things. So, if Kevin usually shows up at 4 and by 4:15, the door didn't open, then we need to really get over there and find out what's going on. Did he miss the bus? Is he somewhere? Obviously those opportunities present themselves, and how do we then provide supports to make sure that Kevin or whoever the person we're supporting gets home safely in an effective manner.
And with all the different opportunities that technology brings, I know that nothing truly replaces that in-person experience.
Correct.
I know you guys offer some great other activities and opportunities.
We always say that virtual services is wonderful. It's in terms of Teams and Zoom calls like this, but you still miss that personal touch. You still miss that opportunity to network, the opportunity to talk to someone on a one-to-one basis. There's no touch and feel here. There's no hugs. There's no handshakes. It's a different world, but for some folks that's okay, and that's fine. And we're trying to figure out how we incorporate that technology into our supports in the future for those folks who want that type of level of support. But there are some folks who just need that car to pull up in the driveway and know that someone's going to meet me at the house when I get home, that type of deal. Yeah. And that's part of their routine, and that makes them feel safe in their community. So those are the opportunities we're trying to figure out. How do we, just like our varying supports in employment and all of our services, how do we provide those supports based on the person's level of comfort and need, if you will?
Let's talk about some of the fall and winter events and activities you have on the agenda, and for the folks watching that might be interested in how we can get involved or support as well.
Sure. So obviously fundraising is a key aspect in our events for our folks to be integrated in the community. So a couple things coming up. We have our annual Halloween dance coming up at the end of October. Or of this month, coming up at East Catholic High School. They support us and help us out. So does Manchester High School in the springtime with their MARC dance and St. Patrick's Day theme. So our folks are really, it was really nice to see our folks this year back in the schools, back into interacting and socialization. As you mentioned, virtual services, as much as it's wonderful, we've done dances on Zoom and online. It's not the same. It's not the same. So those opportunities for folks to socialize are coming up, and we're excited about them. We also have a movie night coming up. We're starting to do more and more movie nights and activities with that folks can attend that are low cost. We know that the pandemic has taken a toll on everyone, and we want to make sure we have opportunities, free activities, and also some small fee activities, if you will, so that folks can participate in them. One of the things we're also doing is our respite services. We rebooted our respite services after 2 years. We've done periodic respite services over the course of the past 2 years based on the COVID and pandemic and restrictions, non-restrictions, but we really put a focus this month and this quarter coming up about respite services. So we have a whole host of activities we've never done before, which are going to be great. Movie nights, pumping, carving activities, baking cookies, and learning how to bake for the holidays.
Wow.
Here at MARC, using our facilities, but also being out in the community, going out to restaurants and having dinner. Our folks miss that. We all miss that. And
Sure.
We're trying to get back into how we're going to live with this virus and not have it control our lives. So we have that coming up. We also have our donor, our evening of gratitude that we're going to be doing. That's in November, and it's a great evening where we basically recognize individuals who have been with us in terms of being in our services for many years. So we have people 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 years that have been with us for MARC with their services here. So we give them proclamations, state and town proclamations, and they really enjoy that evening with their family and friends to celebrate how long they've been with MARC. We also have it's called an evening of gratitude because we're so happy about them, but also about all of our community members who enabled us to do all those things for those individuals over those 35, 40 years. So it's an opportunity for us to actually show that, help the community and thank the community for being a partner with us. Really, that's what it's been from day one. It's a partnership. It's a partnership, as you know, with Cox Communications. It's a partnership with all the towns and school districts that support us. It's just a partnership with the state of Connecticut and DDS that enables us to really move that pendulum forward and make sure people with disabilities are at the forefront of being involved in their community and having the same opportunities like anyone else in this world.
Yeah, and to hit home on your motto, seeing people, not disabilities, I think it goes a long way. And I know that you do have an active involvement with your community, and hopefully we have done our part too, but I know there's always more that we can be doing. So what are some of the ways that society in general and us as a community, your local, the champion inclusion and help make changes to better assist your individuals and anything else we can do?
Yeah, I think it's leading by example. It's hiring our folks. If you have a job opportunity or a position open at your company, and it's a perfect opportunity for our folks we support. Give us a call. We'd be happy to send one of our job developers out there to learn more about that opportunity and figure out how we can best meet your needs as an employer. And I can guarantee you that you will be satisfied with the results because that's what it's about. It's that one-on-one interaction with people, which through volunteerism is huge for us as an organization. And I know that you guys believe that at Cox Communications, and we have countless volunteers that come in through all the course of the year who have helped us with this event, that event, or this activity, or this enhancement, or hey, we're going to build this, or we're going to put that on the house, that type of deal,
Right.
to make things more accessible. So all those opportunities are just very cherished by us here at MARC and the communities that we support within our organization. It's that partnership that really makes the world go round. So those are ways that people can help us out with their time, energy, and also if you have an opportunity for us, employment is a huge thing for our folks. Having that opportunity, especially coming out of COVID, we lost some jobs. Just like anyone else in the world, we lost some opportunities, and we're trying to rebound. And those opportunities are critical towards the success of our future for our folks. And then, of course, we're always fundraising. We're always fundraising. If folks are watching this and they want to sponsor a dance, or they want to drop a check in the mail, or they want to respond to our annual appeal, the winter appeal is coming up. Those things matter to us because I can tell you that we do not get enough funding from all of our state contracts and other thing else. Even though we are a partner with them and we do the best we can, we go above and beyond to make sure that everyone's successful. And that takes resources, that takes staffing, takes money, takes opportunities. We can't wait 2 months for someone's wheelchair that got broke to get fixed because they got to get to work next week. So sometimes we have to find creative ways to get them those opportunities, and those fundraising dollars make all the difference in the world. It allows us to subsidize respite activities for folks who can't afford to go to the UConn basketball game, who can't afford to go to the football game, you can't afford to go to the movies. Those are the opportunities that our folks really cherish, and those are the opportunities that we're known for. And it's really because of the partnership of our communities coming together to help each other out.
And there's some great things that you guys have done over the years for fundraising, right? There's the bowl-a-thon,
Yep.
the golf tournament, which is, in my humble opinion, one of the best golf tournaments around.
Thank you.
And then it's summer concert series. I believe that's free, but you
It's
can.
a fundraiser for us.
It's a
Yeah, no, it's a
fundraiser.
fundraiser. We have local restaurants that donate their services, and we reap the benefit of selling, food and vending food, and 100% of the proceeds go to us in most cases. So it's that how as we as a community can support each other, and as much as we I don't want to say take from the community, but as much as we rely on the community, we give back to the community. We're volunteering. Our people are volunteering at Rebuilding Together and helping out rebuilding together here in our local community. We're helping individuals and organizations become better. And we're a resource for the community. So if you have an individual who your loved one has a disability and that you need help, or you need a pointer in the right direction, or resources, that's what we're here for. Use us. I mean, that's why we have our staff. That's why we have our resources at our disposal, is to really figure out how we as a group can come together and support the individual that needs help. So that's what we do on a daily basis. And every day we have, I call it miracles, I call it dreams. Every day something happens. Someone gets a roommate, someone gets a new house, someone gets a new job, someone has a new opportunity, someone goes to the movies for the first time, someone is independent at their job. There's just a whole host. I could go on and on and on about all the wonderful things that happen. And it's avenues like this TV show that allow us to really express how thankful we are to the community and how we can partner further. So thank you.
Yeah, I know you're absolutely welcome. And I will say from experience, it's having those touching moments you just, talked about. They go a long way, right? I know not only hopefully we as a community have impacted your individuals and your staff who are great as well, but just know that, you've touched us as a community as well. And we've opened our hearts to you. And I know that there's probably, like you were just saying, so many different little moments there, but is there, out of your whole time at MARC, is there one or two examples that just it's resonating with you and what will take it with you forever, that was kind of really impacted your life?
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember the first time. It's what I love about MARC is I think we have that can-do attitude here. We're a family, we all look out for each other, staff-wise, people served, our individuals, our families. And I love it when someone says, well, Johnny can't do that in the community. Johnny can't, he's not independent enough to do that. And we roll up our sleeves as a team and we basically figure out, how do we support Johnny to do that? How do we turn that no into a yes? And I've seen countless opportunities where that has just happened time and time again. We have an individual here who, he's got to be busy at all times. He won't sit still. He won't, it's just, that's the way he is. And, I got to know him when he first came into our services, and, oh, wow, this is going to be a challenge for us to support. And now he is several years later, got into the groove. He is with our supports. He's calm. He's collective. He doesn't have outbreaks. He doesn't have behaviors. He's working in the community. And it's all because of the hard work of trial and error that we've done over the years, and him developing and growing and trusting us and trusting the world that he lives in. And really, it's just opening up as you said, your hearts and your minds to accepting people who are different. And, that's what our seeing people, not disabilities, is all about. I don't see that person as a person with a disability. I see them, they love the Yankees, they love the Red Sox, they love to go to work, and they love to go to Outback or wherever they're going on a Friday night to have dinner with their family and friends. And they can do that because we treat them like people. Yeah. We don't treat them like someone who's different. And then we turn that no into a yes.
It's truly been, 70 years now, right?
70 years. It's our anniversary. Yeah.
I would say of perseverance. It's a term my mother impressed on me, and that to me just kind of sums up what you guys have done as a nonprofit organization for your individuals, and the impact you've had on them as well as us as a community. So, Kevin, thank you so much for being a guest on Focus, President and CEO of MARC Inc. Obviously, we encourage the viewers to learn more, get involved, and we look forward to seeing you in the future and hearing more what happens over there at MARC in the coming years.
Great. Thank you for having me. And visit our website, www.marcct.org, or give us a call at 860-646-5718 and figure out how we can help each other out. Thank you.
Thank you.